Is Jason a cop in GTA 6? You know, fans have been dissecting every pixel of the GTA 6 trailer and, amidst the neon lights and high-speed chases, a theory has emerged that's got everyone talking. The word on the street is that Jason, one of the game's protagonists, might just be an undercover cop 1. The trailer's got more hints than a detective novel, and eagle-eyed gamers have spotted a few things that don't quite add up. Jason's not as front and center as Lucia, the game's first female protagonist, which has got some fans thinking he's playing it cool for a reason 1. Plus, there's this vibe of tension, like he's got something big to hide. GTA 6 is all about trust, or the lack thereof, and having Jason as an undercover cop would crank that theme up to 11-1. Imagine the drama. Jason, deep undercover, watching his crew get taken down by Lucia, the very person he's supposed to trust the most. It's like a Shakespearean tragedy with sports cars and submachine guns. If Jason is indeed a cop, that could flip the whole police system in GTA on its head. We're talking about calling off chases, lowering wanted levels, and maybe even flipping the script on some missions 1. It's a fresh take that could give players a whole new way to play the game. Now, keep in mind, this is all just a theory. Rockstar hasn't confirmed anything, and they're probably enjoying watching us squirm as we try to piece it all together. But if it's true, it's gonna be a game changer. Literally. But I don't see that happening, and it could be a letdown. Now, imagine you're playing as Jason, cruising down the neon-lit streets of Vice City. You've just finished a high-stakes mission, and you're feeling that classic GTA adrenaline rush. What do you do next? If you're like me, you'd probably start a police chase, maybe hijack a few cars, possibly even go on a bit of a rampage. It's not because we're bad people, it's because this is GTA, and that's what we do. But here's where the Jason is a cop theory throws a wrench into things. If he's truly an undercover officer, how am I supposed to unleash chaos without feeling like I'm betraying his character? I mean, think about it. You're in the middle of a 5-star wanted level situation, bullets flying, cars exploding, and then you remember, oh wait, I'm actually one of the good guys. Talk about a mood killer. And it's not just about feeling out of character. There are practical issues too. In a normal GTA game, getting busted is just a minor setback. You lose some cash, maybe some weapons, but you're back on the streets in no time. But if Jason's a cop, what happens? Does he file a report on himself? Suspect apprehended after a high-speed chase. Oh, by the way, that suspect was me. It's just weird. Or let's say you're playing as Jason and you stumble upon a crime in progress. In any other GTA game, you'd have 3 options: ignore it, join in, or intervene for your own benefit. But as an undercover cop, I guess you're obligated to stop it. So now, instead of deciding how to interact with the game's dynamic events based on my whims, I'm stuck always doing the right thing. That's not why I play GTA. Then there's the question of property damage. We all know GTA's physics engine is half the fun. Smashing through storefronts, toppling streetlights, using sedans as bowling balls. It's glorious destruction. But a cop, even an undercover one, is supposed to protect and serve. So every time I send a car flying into a building, am I supposed to feel guilty? Do I need to call in city maintenance? Hey, it's Officer Jason. Yeah, I might have turned Main Street into a war zone. My bad. Some people argue that Rockstar could implement a switch-off mode where Jason temporarily forgets he's a cop during free play. But come on, that's just narrative gymnastics. It'd be like having a split personality. Detective Jason during the story, then Criminal Jason when you want to have fun. I don't know about you, but that just feels like a cop-out. Pun intended. And let's talk about one of GTA's most iconic features: cheats. Spawning tanks, activating invincibility, summoning attack helicopters. These aren't just extras. They're a core part of the GTA experience. But if Jason's a law enforcer, using these cheats feels doubly wrong. A regular GTA protagonist using a cheat code is bending the game's rules. A cop doing it? That's corruption, my friends. Next thing you know, we'll have an internal affairs minigame. No thanks. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for Rockstar trying new things with their characters. When they announced that GTA 5 would have 3 protagonists, I was skeptical, but they nailed it. Michael, Franklin, and Trevor each brought something unique to the table, and switching between them added fantastic variety. So I'm not against innovation. In fact, I think having Jason as an undercover cop could make for a gripping main story. The internal conflict, the blurred lines between right and wrong, the tension of maintaining a cover. That's great stuff for scripted missions. Rockstar's writers are some of the best in the business, and they could definitely make it work. But GTA isn't just about the story. For many of us, it's about those hours spent after the credits roll, when the city becomes our playground. It's about pushing the game's boundaries, doing things that are outrageous, unethical, and often physically impossible. Having a protagonist whose very identity clashes with this freedom, it risks turning those post-game hours into an existential crisis. Some fans suggest that Lucia, the other protagonist, could be our outlet for classic GTA madness. And sure, that's a solution. But it also means that whenever I want to truly cut loose, I'd always have to switch characters. It fragments the experience. In previous GTAs, each protagonist felt complete. They could handle any situation, any mood. I fear that with Jason, we'd only be getting half a GTA character. Look, I get that this is all speculation. The Jason is a cop theory is just that, a theory. For all we know, Rockstar could be laughing at us as they prepare to reveal that Jason is actually an alien or a time traveler, which, let's be real, would be awesome. My point is, while I'm excited to see how they evolve the GTA formula, making a protagonist an undercover cop feels like it goes against the series' core identity. GTA has always been about escapism, being the anti-hero, breaking every rule, and reveling in the chaos. It's a digital pressure valve, a place where our IDs can run wild without real-world consequences. The moment we have to second-guess that freedom is the moment GTA starts to lose its magic. But hey, this is just my take. I'd love to hear what you all think. Are you on board with Officer Jason? Or do you also fear it could hamper the GTA experience? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Yes, Jason being a cop could actually be a pretty cool plot device. But here's the thing. We shouldn't forget that GTA has never really been about being a narrative masterpiece. Think about some of the best cop dramas out there. Movies like The Departed or Donnie Brasco. The internal struggle of an undercover officer, torn between duty and the relationships they form in the criminal world, is compelling stuff. There's always that tension. When does maintaining your cover become actually becoming a criminal? In the context of a GTA game, where moral lines are always blurry, this conflict could be dynamite. I can picture it now. Jason, deep undercover in Vice City's underworld, slowly becoming the very thing he swore to fight. Maybe he starts by just looking the other way during minor crimes. Then he's actively participating in heists, justifying it as keeping up appearances. Before he knows it, he's calling the shots, more gangster than detective. That's a character arc with real teeth, especially in a series known for its anti-heroes. And let's not forget, Rockstar has dabbled with lawmen protagonists before. In Red Dead Redemption, John Marston was technically working for the government, trying to take down his old gang. Sure, he was coerced into it, but he was still operating on the right side of the law for much of the game. Despite this, the open-world chaos of the Wild West was fully intact. I spent hours as Marston, robbing trains and getting into saloon shootouts, without ever feeling like I was betraying his character. So, yes, I'll admit it. Jason being an undercover cop could be a genuinely cool plot device. It offers fresh narrative terrain for the GTA series, potentially delivering some of the most morally complex missions we've seen. Imagine a task where you have to choose between blowing your cover to save innocent bystanders or maintaining your criminal persona at a horrific cost. That's heavy, thought-provoking stuff. But, and this is a big but, we need to pump the brakes on this narrative masterpiece talk. Don't get me wrong, I love a good story as much as anyone. Some of my favorite gaming moments come from plot-heavy titles like The Last of Us or Mass Effect. But GTA has never really been about that life. I feel like sometimes, in our excitement for GTA 6, we're rewriting history a bit. There's this notion floating around that Rockstar has always aimed to make GTA some pinnacle of video game storytelling. Folks, that's just not the case. Don't believe me? Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. GTA 3, the game that defined the 3D era, barely had a story. You were just some silent protagonist out for revenge. Vice City brought in more character with Tommy Vercetti, but the plot was essentially Scarface the game. San Andreas had more depth with CJ's family struggles, but it also had you storming a military base to steal a jetpack. Story-wise, these weren't exactly Citizen Kane. Even when we hit the HD era with GTA 4, where Nico Bellic's tale was darker and more personal, the narrative was often overshadowed by the sheer absurdity of Liberty City. One minute you're contemplating the horrors of war, the next you're bowling with your cousin after a high-speed police chase. Tonal whiplash much? And let's talk about GTA 5, the current crown jewel. Yes, it had interweaving storylines and character development, but come on. One of the main plot points involves stealing a superweapon from a secret government facility, using a giant magnet attached to a helicopter. Another has you chasing down a plane on a motorcycle, jumping onto its wing mid-flight. Great fun? Absolutely. Gripping drama? Not exactly. My point is, Rockstar has always treated GTA's story as more of a framework for insane missions and over-the-top set pieces. It's pulp fiction, a B-movie blockbuster where the plot exists to hustle you from one explosive scenario to the next. The narrative isn't bad, far from it. But it's not trying to win the Booker Prize either. This is why, as intriguing as the Jason is a cop theory is, we shouldn't get too caught up in its potential for deep storytelling. Could it offer some nice character depth? Sure. Might it lead to some genuinely poignant moments? Possibly. But if history is any guide, Rockstar is more likely to use this backstory as a springboard for outlandish missions. I can see it now. Jason, his cover on the verge of being blown, has to stage a full-scale prison riot to maintain his criminal cred. Or maybe he's forced to hijack a space shuttle, because why not, it's GTA, to intercept incriminating evidence before it reaches orbit. These would be classic GTA sequences. Spectacular, ridiculous, and only tangentially related to the core narrative. This approach isn't a criticism, by the way. It's why we love GTA. The series has always been a beautiful chaos generator, more concerned with making you laugh, gasp, and go, "Did that really just happen?" than making you ponder the human condition. It's gaming's ultimate blockbuster franchise, big, loud, and gloriously excessive. So, while I'm now on board with Jason potentially being an undercover cop, it could indeed be a neat plot device. I caution against setting our story expectations too high. GTA 6 isn't going to be a gritty police drama that deconstructs the thin blue line. It's going to be, well, a GTA game. Expect wit, satire, and sequences that would make Michael Bay say, maybe that's a bit much. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. Not every game needs to be a narrative masterpiece. Some should just aim to be incredibly good at what they do. For GTA, that means offering the most dynamic, unpredictable, and flat-out fun open world around. Whether Jason turns out to be a cop, a criminal, or something in between, as long as I can use a tow truck to launch a yacht into a skyscraper, I'll be satisfied. What do you all think? Has this changed your view on the Jason is a cop theory? Do you agree that GTA's strength is spectacle over storytelling? Or do you think Rockstar might actually be gearing up to surprise us with their most mature narrative yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button and subscribe.